Well, hello there, and welcome to Cooking from the Cupboards. My name is Heather, and I'm happy that you joined me today. Today, I thought I would go over the Pantry Challenge, and this is going to be a recipe recap of a couple of recipes that I'm probably not going to make again. So that is what this video is going to be about. I did a recipe on our top 10 favorite recipes that I've tried, and some honorable mentions, and I will link that video down below for you. So the Pantry Challenge, my goal was to use recipes out of all the cookbooks that I have, because I have a very large cookbook collection and I have a very large vintage recipe box collection. And I wanted to try to use them. And sometimes you get hits and sometimes you get misses. And these two were misses, absolutely. So when you try a new recipe, when you read through a recipe, you go, okay, that sounds not too bad. You know, we like those flavors, or yeah, we've had something similar to it. We should probably like this. And yes, absolutely, we should. Now we tried two recipes, and I did videos. On these recipes. This is not the recipe card. It's called sausage casserole, and it's in the recipe box, and I didn't want to spend an hour looking for that specific recipe card. But I was going through a recipe box yesterday of one that I had purchased, and it has the exact same recipe. The exact same recipe. And this person wrote on here that it was yummy. And this one came with directions even. So this family enjoyed this recipe, but this is the sausage casserole. It's like a breakfast casserole, and I did a video on this, and the original recipe card had no directions. I've done a recipe read through, and I thought I would try it because it sounded really good. And we made it, and when it came out of the oven and it was still warm, it tasted really, really good. It really did. But we can't eat all of that because it made so much, because we're a family of three. We don't, eat a whole 9x13 pan for one sitting. Now, if I had a whole bunch, if I had more people that I was feeding, then that would be perfect. I probably should have cut the recipe in half, but I didn't want to. But when we put it in the refrigerator and warmed it up the next day for breakfast, it became spongy and the texture was just off. And maybe it's the texture issue that we were having an issue with, but none of us could eat it. So I ended up disassembling it, and I actually fed the bread and stuff to my chickens. I dug out all the mushrooms and onions and stuff, and fed the bread to my chickens. So, but the sausage casserole is a recipe that we're not going to make again. I'm not going to waste the ingredients to make it, but that's just my family. You might really enjoy it. We had an issue with the texture after it was cooled down and rewarmed. So sausage casserole, I'm not making that one again. Then the other recipe that I made, and I did this in a video, is the baked green beans. And this recipe came from the Sunset Cookbook, Cooking with Casseroles. And this is from like 1958. And it was the baked green beans. It was the same video that I did the salmon and the homemade tartar sauce and the homemade chili sauce. Now, I made homemade chili sauce, and that recipe is actually in our top 10. And I had to make that chili sauce to make this recipe. This recipe tasted good. I think it needed to be paired better, and that was my fault. I paired it with salmon, not fully thinking that it's going to taste like barbecue sauce. I don't know why. And it has a smoky flavor because of the bacon and all those things. So the pairing, when I menu planned it, was not good, and that's my fault. I should have done some hamburgers or steak or something else as opposed to what I did pair it with. But we tasted it. We did enjoy it. We did like it. We just didn't like what it was served with. But unless I have a whole bunch of green beans that I need to use up, I'm probably not going to make this one again. I think that I'm just going to chalk it up of, hey, it was good, but I'm not making that again. And I do that with a lot of recipes. There's many, many recipes that I've tried over the years that, you know, it tastes fine, but it's not something that I'm going to make again. It's not a recipe that we talk over and over and over about and people want me to make it. So I have to write it on a recipe card and put it into my personal recipe box because we want to use it over and over and over again. So these are the two recipes that I'm not going to be making again. Again, these both were in long form videos that I have here on YouTube. And there should be recipe shorts of read through on both of these recipes. This is a different recipe card. The other one is a typed 3x5, so it's a short card. But these are two recipes I won't make again. And so I thought I would do a recipe recap of the ones that we didn't care for. And I think that's important for people to know that, yeah, even though I tried these recipes, even though I did these recipes, they're not that good or they didn't taste that well. And it could be just my family. We didn't care for the flavor or we didn't care for the texture. The sausage casserole was the texture. And the baked green beans was, I paired it incorrectly. I paired it with salmon as opposed to maybe a beef. I think that would have been fine. Or even a pulled pork. That probably would have been better. But I'm not going to take that chance and I'm not going to make them again. And I'm not going to waste those ingredients. So I want to thank you for joining me today. And comment down below what recipes you've tried that you don't care for. I would be interested into knowing that. So do please like, share, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And we will see you guys on the next video. Goodbye for now.